When a commander-in-chief announces a major military victory, the standard political response is a unified rally around the flag. But the address following Operation Epic Fury triggered a different reaction, an immediate, high-decibel fracture in the national consensus. The operation stretched across the UAE and Kuwait, a region the president described as having undergone a total change. For an American public already weary of Middle Eastern engagement, the stakes of this specific military update were high. Instead of cooling domestic tensions, the speech functioned as an accelerant for partisan division. The victory lap overseas coincided with a domestic political landscape catching fire. To understand why the backlash was so explosive, we have to look past the military goals and examine how the speech was engineered as a rhetorical weapon. The first rhetorical pillar is the claim of an accidental victory. The president states that while regime change was never the official goal, it occurred anyway because, in his words, the original leaders are now all dead. The administration justifies this outcome by branding the surviving replacement group as less radical and more reasonable. It reframes a massive military escalation as a serendipitous byproduct of the mission. This framing immediately drew fire from Democrats. Senate leader Chuck Schumer termed the explanation pathetic, viewing the move as a dangerous expansion of war powers conducted without congressional oversight. By celebrating the death of hostile leaders, the speech creates a difficult choice for opponents. To critique the unauthorized escalation requires a politician to risk sounding like they are mourning the radical figures the president claims to have removed. The second pillar involves a compressed diplomatic timeline. The address sets a strict 2 to 3 week window for a final deal to be reached before further action is taken. If that deadline passes, the president promises a synchronized strike on every single electric generating plant in the opposing nation. He uses the phrase, "bring them back to the Stone Ages," to describe the intended result. Openly threatening the foundational civilian infrastructure of an entire country shifted the discourse from standard military objectives to a promise of total societal collapse. This ultimatum crossed a threshold that horrified international observers. It elevated the conflict from a specific security operation to a threat of unrestricted warfare against a civilian population. The most significant layer of the address is its emotional core. The president pivots to the 13 American warriors who were killed during the operation, framing their sacrifice as the ultimate justification for the mission. He recounts a specific trip to Dover Air Force Base, describing his time with the parents, wives, and husbands as their loved ones returned to American soil. The president claims that these grieving families spoke with a single voice. He tells the public that every one of them looked him in the eye and said, "Please, sir, please finish the job." Channeling the grief of Gold Star families in this way converts a tragic loss into a political mandate. It creates a shield around the administration's policy, suggesting that to argue for de-escalation is to ignore the direct request of the fallen soldiers' families. The speech links the honor of those 13 soldiers directly to the destruction of the electric grid, tethering their memory to extreme military outcomes. This linkage creates a rigid binary for the public. Honoring their sacrifice requires total commitment to the president's ultimatum. This strategy creates a steep hurdle for critics. While leaders like Schumer remained angry, they faced a landscape where critiquing the policy meant directly contradicting the testimony of the bereaved parents cited by the commander-in-chief. The address functioned as a tactical enclosure. It used the immense weight of American casualties to pin the opposition in place, narrowing the space for safe political dissent. This approach leaves the public completely polarized on foreign policy, with a major city's survival hanging in the balance of a domestic debate. The nation is pulled between a genuine, unified sorrow for military losses and a partisan horror at the prospect of unrestricted infrastructure warfare. The legacy of the Operation Epic Fury address was the successful conversion of a foreign conflict into a high-stakes tool for domestic political warfare.